Welcome back. So today I'm trying an experiment that I saw quickly on like a short or reel on social media. So we're going to make a greenhouse out of these containers. They are $20 as of the recording plus tax, and I will link them in the description. And I'm going to see if I can make a greenhouse out of these since I don't have my formal greenhouse yet. So first we've got to do our seed starting mix, and it's going to be similar to our meals mix, and that will be linked in the description. The video where we made soil from scratch, but our mix will need vermiculite in it, and this is coarse vermiculite. Per the meals mix in the square foot gardening guidelines, it needs to be coarse vermiculite, and then we'll mix that with equal parts peat moss. You can also do cocoa coir, or some people do PITT moss, but those two are going to be in equal parts, and you'll see I've got those both in buckets, and I will mix them together in a third bucket. We've got to have drainage, so I've got my trusty power drill here that we'll be using to add drainage holes to this storage container so that whenever we water or if it rains in there, it will be able to drain out so the roots don't just sit in water, because that actually is an issue. And we've got our third empty bucket here, and we're just going to mix these in equal parts. Okay, we've got our power drill loaded up, ready to go. And so we're going to first start by getting some holes basically on the back side of this. Want to put a couple of holes on the back side, kind of near the bottom, because we want to make sure that if it gets water in it, you want the water, of course, to drain from the bottom. So we're going to do a couple of holes on the back side here for each one of these different shelves here. We also need holes under the bottom of each individual shelf, so I want to go ahead and do those just to make sure we definitely have that drainage. We want the greenhouse effect, so I used a smaller drill bit for these, just enough to allow that water to drain out there. I also want to mention here that they have wheels for these. I'm purposely not installing the wheels because I want it to stay stationary. I'm also going to put a brick on top of both of these mini greenhouses to keep them from moving if there's storms and high winds. So yeah, but if you want to use the wheels and you want yours to be able to move around, just wanted to let you know that they do have wheels for these. Drainage holes are in for our first greenhouse, so now we're on to drainage holes for greenhouse number 2. Shout out to Salty Dog Homestead for putting us onto these seed trays and seed starting kits that he gets from Bootstrap Farmer. So I went there based on one of his recent videos and got these seed trays, and then also I have the plant tags, which I'm gonna find out that actually the pen I've got is not compatible with these, so I'm gonna have to save and use these later and go back to my plant stakes, my paint stirrers I normally use. I've also got this tray that Salty Dog says he uses when he needs to bottom water the seedlings, and then there is the heavy duty tray that we can keep the seedlings inside. Now it's time to go ahead and mix our seed starting mix together, and you'll see our 3 buckets, and we've got our shovel. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the peat moss and put it in this bucket, and then I'm going to take a little bit of this vermiculite and then I'm going to stir everything together, and then we're going to have just enough. They say with the seed starting mix to leave the compost off to make the mix more sterile. So that's why we're not using our black cow that we would normally use. And here's our mixed seed starting mix. Our first set of trays are ready, so we're just going to take that mix that we just made, and we're just going to go ahead and start pouring the mix into these trays, and then we're just going to kind of spread the soil out. We want the soil very close to the top of these trays, so that will allow those roots as much room as they need to grow. I purposely bought the bigger seed starters where there's only 4 sections in them, because I want to start some things like tomatoes that need a while to grow, and these bigger trays will allow them time to get their roots established, so I don't keep moving them. And plus, let's be honest, I've said this before, I don't really like to do a lot of up potting. I want to maybe transplant once if at all possible, so I don't have to keep moving them, because some things actually don't even like to be transplanted and moved. They like to stay stationary once you get in there. So I'm just going ahead and I'm going to go ahead and spread this seed starting mix across these different cells until I get them all full where the soil is very close to the top. And we've got our seeds. If you want to know more about this particular seed storage setup, check out Seed Haul video number 2 to find out more about that. But it is our handy storage case that was under $15. Okay, we're starting with the North Georgia Candy Roaster. We're trying this one again. Last year we got a huge, beautiful plant, but we didn't get the actual fruit because I think we planted a little too late. So that's why I wanted to make sure this is one of the first things I start this year, to give it plenty of time to get itself together. So by the time we get into the middle of the season, even though it's a winter squash, as we know, we grow both summer and winter squash seeds in the summertime. So we're going to go ahead and start this North Georgia Candy Roaster. So hopefully we'll have the huge vines and everything. I've got a video on how to make a trellis for this, because you'll need a metal trellis for this. These are going to be heavy fruit once they actually fruit. So you'll want to make sure that you have a trellis that's going to actually support this. Next up is our Pennsylvania Dutch butter popcorn. We're going to go ahead and do a few different types of popcorn, or either corn that will make grits. The light caught this. I was trying to get a good shot of it, and actually the sunlight, it created a glare here. So some of these you may not be able to see as well, but we're going to go ahead and start this corn. This is a pair of seeds from Ujamaa Farms. It's one of our Black and BIPOC owned seed companies. So we're gonna start these seeds and let's get into it. And I'm just going to do several different kinds of squash and corn in these trays. There's going to be some South Delaware flint corn. I'm trying to do enough corn so I'll have enough to print to plots, I should say, in blocks, because corn is wind pollinated. So you need to plant a block of corn in order for this to grow properly. Last year, I did have corn grow completely to stalks, and I had some stalks that were green, so they didn't fully mature, but they had kernels on them. But in order to properly pollinate, we need to plant extra corn. So I planted more this year in this seed starting tray. And then some of the corn is geared toward grits, which are a southern staple, and I am in the southeast in zone 8. And then other corn types are geared more toward other things like popcorn. And so I have different varieties that will be geared toward popcorn versus those geared toward grits, but they will all wind pollinate each other just the same. Okay, so we're finishing up this first set of trays, and we're going to do the lightest mist setting on the water hose to make sure that we don't blow these brand new seeds out of their new homes. So just make sure you turn your settings down before you turn your water hose on, so you can give your seeds that good water they need to get started without dislodging them. And this is the perfect time to tell you about our free school community. It is linked in the description, where you can commune with other gardeners, ask specific questions about your garden, and give other gardeners advice on their gardens. Again, it's free and linked in the description. And if you're looking to figure out what fertilizer to use at which stage of your plant's growth, we also have the free Ultimate Fertilizer Guide available for you. Again, it's linked in the description, and I want to thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.